In this web tutorial, we're going to do a body mass calculator, and we will be using the console to write out information in the screen and to read in information from the screen. Don't despair, because we'll be moving to GUIs next week. What we have here is a program called the BodyMass, and you notice it is in the same named source file called BodyMass.java. Remember, if it says BodyMass here, it must say public class BodyMass here. And we have the public static void main. This is where execution starts, and in this case we throw an IO exception, and this is here to let the compiler know that we will not handle any IO errors, and we need that when we're doing the read line method from the data in. So what we do here is we declare two strings, one called sheight and another one called sweight. We have two integers called I inches, and we set it to 0, and I pounds, which we set to 0. And then we have a couple double data types called D kilograms, and we set it to 0. D meters we set to 0, and D index we set to 0 as well. And notice we have commas to separate the different variables we are initializing. And right here we do the buffered reader. That is a object, and that comes from this package right here, and we call it data in. And here's what we call instantiation. I know it looks a little daunting, but we'll be getting into this more in the future. And we do a buffered reader, and we say a new input stream reader system in. What this is basically doing is creating like a pipe or a conduit of keyboard strokes that you type into a buffer that we can then read. So as you type, it goes into a buffer, and when you hit enter, the stream reader sends it to the buffered reader, and then it goes into a data we can actually process. This should looks familiar to here, system.out.println. We are issuing the tab, and then we put out to the screen some text, the Sun Fitness Center Body Mass Calculator. Then we put out a blank line that is. Then we put out another line with the tab, enter your height to the nearest inch, and then from the data reader up here that we've connected to the keyboard, we are reading in what you typed in after the enter key. And then here we take it from a string. See, the string here receives what was typed in, and we convert it to an integer and put it in the integer data type. We then prompt the user with a tab again with their weight to the nearest pound. And because we're dealing with integers, we have to have whole numbers. We read in what's in the buffer and then to a string. Then we take the string and convert it to an integer. And then we do some calculations. And then what we do here is we take the inches, we divide it by 39.36. What we're doing here is commingling an integer with a double, so therefore we have to put the result into a double. We take the pounds and we divide it by 2.2 and we put into kilograms. Then we take the kilograms and we divide it by the meters squared, and we put in the index, and we just put out the results to the screen. It looks a little daunting, but what we're basically doing is making a connection to the keyboard here. So when you type in stuff and you hit the enter key, this code here can read what you typed in. We convert it from string to inches, and we do the same thing here, and we do some calculations. So let's compile this code, and let's run it. Okay, the height, and you can see, I'm going to put the code over here, you can see that this code here handles up to here. So I'm going to put in a height of 5 foot 8 inches. And notice when I hit the enter key, the code right here will execute. And then now right here it's asking for the weight. And we'll put in a very optimistic 170. And I hit enter, and I come up with a BMI of 26.